Hello, this is Hamza Mirza, and this is for EECS 1011. This is the bonus project. I decided to work on it. So, here's my project kit. I decided to use the CO2 sensor, and the entire point of this, I use the buzzer and the LED also. The entire point of this is to measure CO2 like levels in your room, and according to that, we will like it will give you a message like open the window or like leave the building, for instance, because there's too much CO2, for instance, not enough proper ventilation. And one of the reasons why I decided to go for this is because I was like, it was provided in the kit, so I'm like, it isn't really getting used, so there has to be a way to get it make it get used. And on top of that, I was also like, you know what, like, since since high levels of CO2 can cause anxiety and cause bad focus levels, I'm like, this could actually be have a pretty good application. Anyways, so we as you can see, we look at the code right here. There's CO2 thresholds. These have been changed, by the way. It's actually, the low threshold is 400, 700, and the high threshold is actually much more. It's like 800, I think. It's 400, 500, and 800. But I changed these to simulate, whatchamacallit, the high threshold. Because the high threshold, not only there's an LED that goes off, but a buzzer goes off for a while. So I'm gonna do the high threshold first, just to show you what it does, and then we'll go on to the moderate one later, because the high threshold is actually really hard to get. So if you can see, it's just an if statement that I'm displaying dangerous levels of CO2, and then I make the light like flash the LED, and then I make the buzzer go off for this. So we're gonna make the high threshold one go off first, because it's actually not even possible for me to even simulate that. So let's make it go off first. So it goes off for 6 seconds, and then the LED blinks a bunch of times. And then it also says dangerous CO2 levels, please ventilate immediately, or something like that. So that's for that one. So if we just change this, I'm just gonna change a little bit of the variables just to show you. We can see, so it'll test 20 times the CO2 level, as you can see. And then on that basis, it'll say, okay, the CO2 levels is 400, for example, because it takes the mean, the average. So this means CO2 levels good. All right. Now we can go for a moderate one. So let's go for moderate. So I'm just gonna change the variables here. So I'll make them back to the normal ones. So it was, the medium threshold was 500, and then the high threshold was just normal. It was 800. And I changed them to just to simulate the high threshold. That was it. So let's simulate the medium one. And for the medium one, you have to blow into it. So I'm gonna blow into the CO2 sensor, which is right here. See, as you can see, you heard a buzzer. I couldn't really show it to you. And then the light also goes off once. So it says that moderate CO2 levels, open a window. It says that. So that's basically my project. And you can also see, there's also a graph right here for 20 readings. And as you can see, for the moderate level, it peaked right here. It peaked right there. So made a figure for the CO2 levels. Pretty cool. That's about it. I think it's it's a pretty good thing. I actually found a video on YouTube on one of the professors of York that was actually teaching how to do this. I was actually banging my head yesterday a lot on the table because I wasn't understanding how to do this. Like when I put the CO2 sensor in, I didn't know what an I2C port was. I had no idea any of this stuff. I was honestly struggling a lot with with this stuff, and honestly I was thinking about not doing the bonus project whatsoever, but I managed to actually do it, which I figured it out. Like watching videos, figuring out drivers and everything, I was able to just get the entire thing working, which is amazing, honestly. That's about it. Thank you.